Are you having trouble surviving in Dying Light 2? This video might be for you. Since this game is rather large and has a lot to cover, let's get right to it. If you find this video to be helpful or enjoyable, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell. If you need to get to a certain point in the video, these are the video sections listed on the screen. Use the timestamps in the description to skip to the part you need. Otherwise, let's start from the beginning. In the event that I somehow miss some important information or get something wrong after this video goes live, I will be adding a pinned comment to the video and updating that information there as time goes by. Understanding how your character works and how to improve them is very important. The player's health and stamina can be upgraded using GRE Inhibitors. These are very important as they are required to unlock certain levels in each perk tree. At some point, perks will be locked due to your health or stamina being too low. Combat perks are tied to health and parkour perks are tied to stamina, so choose wisely. Leveling up is easy. All you have to do is perform parkour moves and fight enemies. Just by doing these two fundamental things will increase your level for each perk tree. Parkour is the key to survival in Dying Light. Over time you will unlock additional abilities to use. Some of these abilities, while blocking and dodging in combat, can prove to be overpowered and deadly for your enemies. When overwhelmed by infected or bandits, it's easy to just parkour your way out of danger. The sooner you increase your parkour level and unlock perks, the better your survival chances in sticky situations. Remember to hold your jump button to reach your maximum height and distance, and check out some of the parkour specific game settings. I find the inventory somewhat annoying because it contains two components, your inventory and your backpack. Your inventory is more like a hotbar for each item type. You can only hold 4 weapons, accessories, and consumables at a time in your inventory, while everything else goes in your backpack. By clicking items in your inventory, you can swap them out with items in your backpack. This is something that is easy to miss if you don't pay attention. Your inventory also holds gear, which is basically armor and clothing. Each piece of gear can have a category attached to them along with stat boosts that match the category. Brawler is for one-handed melee and stamina regen. Tank is for two-handed melee and damage resistances. Ranger is for movement and ranged weapons. And medic is for health regeneration and healing efficiency. Some gear pieces can have gear armor, while others may not have any at all. Sometimes you may have a lower tier piece with more gear armor than higher tier pieces. Pay attention and choose the pieces of gear that match your playstyle. Crafting is pretty self-explanatory. You can craft items using the crafting materials you can find throughout the world. In order to make certain items, you must have the blueprints for the item. Each blueprint does have multiple upgrades available that increase the effectiveness of the item. Some blueprints definitely need to be upgraded before others. In fact, I find that upgrading the medkit as early as possible will be helpful in the long run, as healing can be a lengthy process. I would also recommend holding off on the lockpick upgrades since the materials to make them are very hard to run out of. Craftmasters can upgrade your blueprints for you. These upgrades do require special infected trophies, which requires you to kill special infected. Pick the upgrades that make sense and hold off on upgrades you don't need right away. It's better to conserve your trophies and money for later when you have better blueprints. Traders can buy and sell with you. You can pretty much sell anything you find. This gives you an opportunity to clear your inventory of low tier items or nearly broken weapons. You can buy crafting materials, weapons, accessories, consumables, and even blueprints. If you ever need to go looting but need something specific, check your local trader. They may have the blueprint or crafting material you need. You will often run into valuables that serve no purpose other than to sell for a good chunk of cash. Weapons in Dying Light 2 have the same tier system from Dying Light 1 and pretty much every other game with a loot tier system. Note that the damage output between weapon tiers may not be very different, and sometimes you may find a lower tier weapon that does more damage than a higher tier weapon. Pay attention to the durability because it more than doubles from gray tier to green tier. At some point early on, you can start selling gray weapons because they are virtually useless compared to green weapons. One huge change from the first game is that there is no weapon repair system. Once a weapon reaches 0 durability, it will be destroyed and dropped. Weapons can also be modified using blueprints. There are various sockets that can be updated depending on the weapon tier and weapon type. Some weapons may not have any sockets, so they are not modifiable. Modifying a weapon will actually increase the durability of the weapon slightly, so the weapon can last a little bit longer for each available mod socket. Mod blueprints also have higher tier versions, so there may eventually be a better blueprint that does more damage. Accessories are basically throwable items such as throwing knives, molotovs, distractors, and more. These items can be crafted and can be upgraded at the Craftmaster. There are throwable gold coins that can be used to distract the infected. Keep an eye out for vending machines as they tend to have them. Some accessories, such as the UV sticks, are actually used to heal your immunity. Consumables can include medkits, boosters, and other healing items. They can either be crafted or forged from around the world. UV shrooms are handy for healing immunity, but are more like a tiny bandage compared to immunity boosters, UV sticks, or just UV light in general. You can heal health using medkits, military headkits, by sleeping, or by sitting at a campfire for a short period of time. There may be other health consumables, but I have yet to run into any. Boosters can be used to temporarily boost its stat or immunity. Like accessories, the craftable consumables can be upgraded at the Craftmaster. There are various survival tools that become available at different points in the game. These tools include the GRE Access Key, Binoculars, Paraglider, and more. Each item is key for fully discovering and exploring the world, maximizing world traversal potential, and making your character better overall. There are many types of locations around the world of Dying Light 2. The city of Valador is full of many secrets and hard to reach places, so it's possible that some locations cannot be reached early on without the proper upgrades and perks. Some of the basic locations include encounters, windmills, safe zones, quest givers, metro stations, and settlements. Metro stations are your fast travel method, so keep an eye out for them. Windmills will be your friend, as activating them will create safe zones around it. Special locations include the military airdrops, GRE Anomalies, quarantine zones, dark hollows, forsaken stores, and facilities. These locations are vital for acquiring key resources such as inhibitors and crafting materials, while facilities will further your involvement with the two main factions. A lot of these are unreachable early on in the game due to difficulty or literally not being within reach due to stamina constraints. Pay attention to the level difficulty marked next to each location. At some point, facilities can be used to essentially upgrade the world, but it must be given control to one of the two factions. Choose wisely. You can find locations just by running around, or you can get to a high place and use your binoculars. They are used to mark locations on your map without having to actually go there. Once the circular reticle shows up on your screen, you are looking at an undiscovered location. The closer you point in the right direction, the smaller the reticle gets until the location is discovered. In Dying Light 2, you are literally a ticking time bomb. Especially at night, immunity is important for preventing death by turning into an infected. In the daylight, immunity isn't an issue. At night, you literally have minutes before you will die. Find the purple UV lights that are scattered around the world, consume immunity boosters or UV shrooms, or get to an active safe zone. Using your survival sense can also mark the nearest location with UV light. Going to an inactive windmill can be used to create UV light at the top of the windmill. As your last resort, if you have any or can craft them, use a UV stick. They do not last long and use rare crafting materials to make, but should replenish all of your immunity. Immunity is permanently increased with each inhibitor upgrade. Inhibitors are required for upgrading your health, stamina, and immunity. They are not easy to come by, but can generally be located at GRE locations. Once you get the GRE access key, you will sometimes be alerted of a GRE cache nearby with inhibitors and loot. You can also hear a beeping sound effect that beeps faster as you get closer. Amortizers are basically piles of garbage and bed mattresses that will soften your fall. They are marked with blue markers. It took me a while to find one, but I did find these small yellow trampolines that can give you a decent boost to your jump height. Use these to your advantage whenever you need them. They are essential for your parkour moves and are a great way to dodge infected or bandits. Ziplines and Paragliders are great for traversing large distances. While ziplines are available everywhere throughout the world, the paraglider tool is not available until the main section of the game where you get to Central Loop. They are also useful for dodging incoming enemies and traveling across the map with ease. You will often run into environmental items and objects that can be used as weapons. They come in the form of spike traps, explosive gas cans, pools of flammable liquid, and more. The new spear can be used as a one-time use throwable weapon that deals a lot of damage. There are also bricks and bottles that can be used to stun or distract your enemies. Looting in the day can be difficult since most of the infected sleep during the day. This makes it difficult to loot buildings. You do have the option to loot rooftops during the day. If you really need to, you can loot the streets for loot boxes, car trunks, garbage bins, and more, but it isn't recommended. You can also run into bandit traps, especially if you find a loot cache with no one nearby and a dead body next to it. Rooftop Groves are special unmarked locations that are easy to find. Following the yellow trees will lead you to plenty of crafting materials such as honey and chamomile. You can also find loot boxes, weapons, UV shrooms, and other consumables and searchable items. Rooftop Groves are not safe zones at night. They do not have UV light available and the infected can wander in. Looting at night is different. Since most of the special affected go out at night, looting buildings is a viable option. There are special buildings called Dark Hollows and Forsaken Stores that spawn valuable loot and crafting materials respectively, which grant experience, and inhibitors, if explored, are also safer to loot at night. Keep in mind not all infected go out at night, and sometimes a random infected may wander in or decide to take a nap. As a general rule for Dying Light 2 and even Dying Light 1, stay off the streets as often as possible. Even during the day, bandits can often overwhelm you. Making too much noise can attract virals and prove to be deadly. Sometimes it can be worth the risk, especially once you are used to parkour combat and have unlocked some of the first few perks. At night, the streets mean certain death. Nighttime does provide plenty of opportunities to loot and earn bonus experience, but go out at your own risk. Dying at night cancels bonus experience, and you must survive the night to earn any of it. Making too much noise can actually create noise sources, which attract virals and other special infected. This is worse at night since howlers, banshees, and spitters can roam around. Explosions are a common way to attract unwanted attention, so be careful. If you attract a howler, you will trigger a chase. Chases cause the infected around you to immediately start chasing you. The howler attracts infected to you, so avoid them if possible. Completing a chase will increase the tier of the chase that provides a multiplier to your parkour experience earned at night. After chase tier 4, you will have a 5x multiplier. You can hide in specially marked locations to end a chase. Combat is rather fluid and brutal. It requires stamina and environmental awareness. Are there bandits or infected, or both? Are there environmental traps I can use? Take your time with combat until you are used to it and have unlocked important combat and parkour abilities. There is a special combo that you can learn during the tutorial that becomes very essential and very overpowered during combat. It can eventually be upgraded with additional perks made available later on. Always keep an eye on your stamina. Besides being important for combat, stamina is also important for pretty much everything else in the game. From swinging on a rope to climbing a pipe and traveling across the city, stamina is probably more important than health. Running out of stamina while performing some parkour moves can cause you to fall. The common infected are rather tame in Dying Light 2. They are very easy to kill but can easily overwhelm you. They are an excellent source of basic crafting materials and money. They are usually sleeping during the day but can be seen a lot out in the streets. Special infected are deadly but uncommon. You will only see most of them at night, but virals can go out during the day, and goons or daywalkers like the common infected. Each special infected spawns a trophy that can have a different tier based on the special infected you killed. Due to the trophies being important for upgrading your blueprints, it is encouraged that you kill and loot special infected whenever you can. GRE Anomalies are heavily mutated special infected that resemble a humanoid bat with antler-like wings on its back. These bosses are only available at night and can unlock a GRE location with inhibitors inside. They have multiple abilities, including Infected Resurrection. Use the environment to your advantage. You can use stealth to get behind common infected and bandits and do a takedown attack. Depending on the level of the enemy, you might not actually kill them. If they are higher level than you, they will survive. I'm not sure if you can take down special infected as of the time of writing. Bandits are a bit more difficult to deal with. Using the stun vault kick combo you learn early on can be very useful for killing groups of them. Sometimes you will find a bandit with a wind-up horn that will alert for reinforcements. You will need to kill this bandit first in order to prevent being surrounded by 6 or more bandits. Remember, they can parkour just like you, so don't run and turn your back to them until you know for sure you are safe. Now that I've gone over the main topics for this video, I'm going to list out a couple of extra tips that don't really fit into one category. Afterwards, the video will be ending, so for now, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please do let me know if any of this information is wrong or if there's some important information missing. I will update all that in the pinned comment in this video. Make sure you leave a like and a comment to help boost the performance of this video, and subscribe if you want to join the channel with notifications on so you know when I live stream or when I upload a new video.